It's March, so welcome to February 2024's pickups. And February was my birthday month, so nothing too exciting. I turned 40. Yeah. But as I say, 40 is the new 30 or something like that. I don't know. I'm still playing video games. I'm still here. I'm still working. So, and of course, I'm making this video, so why not? No, I didn't really do a whole lot for my birthday. I did spend some time and went up and saw Tiger Chainsaw, so shout out to him. And some very low key stuff. It's nothing too exciting for my 40th, even though it is a milestone. But hey, I prefer everything to be chilled anyway. I've never really been big on celebrating birthdays for myself anyway since I turned 32. So yeah, there's that. But I guess we could kind of start off with that. So while I was up visiting Tiger Chainsaw, we did a couple things. We went and checked out a new brewery that opened up in his area. That was pretty cool. I had some dinner with him and his wife, and he took me to a new game store that opened in Milwaukee, and I can't remember the name of it. I know it was something MKE. Super nice owner. He was there. We got to chat with him. We nerded out about arcade games because he had a couple in his shop. He also has he caters a lot to tournaments, which is kind of cool. We actually just arrived after they finished a Tekken 8 tournament. He's got one whole wall dedicated to that where he's got big screen TVs and everything, and in the back he's got some other stuff for online games. So it's kind of cool to be in a very chill place that's very welcoming for people just to kind of step in. You can shop for games. He's a collector himself, so he has a lot of unique items, including a uh, graded snatcher for the Sega CD was there. So we got to look around. He had some really neat stuff, a lot of arcade sticks that I haven't seen in some time. We got to chat a lot, so it was pretty cool. So while there, I picked up, thanks to Tiger Chainsaw, he actually grabbed this for me. Langrisser 3 with the lenticular cover, which you're not going to see too much with this type of camera, but this was also known as Warsong here in the West. We haven't gotten the third game. The first two were re released in a bundle by NIS on the Switch and PS4. So we have yet to see the third one. It's a strategy RPG by one of my favorite artists, and he did some anime. He also did the Growlancer series, which is a spin-off of the Langrisser series. This game's been going on since the Genesis days. Went to Saturn, Dreamcast, and we haven't really seen a new entry in it for some time. But I was super excited because this isn't one I come across very often. It's not an expensive game by any means. It is completely in Japanese. There's no English subtitles or anything. I think there is an English translation that was done a year or two ago for the Saturn. I might have to track that one down. But I just love the art in this, the characters and everything. If you've played the Girl Lancer series, you'll probably recognize the art style. But I was super happy with that. He also took me to a video game exchange in his area, and I found another unique thing that I don't see very often, and that is a Neo Geo Pocket Color game, Fatal Fury: First Contact. The This is in the Neo Geo Pocket Collection available on the Switch, but again, because I don't see Neo Geo games come up very much in the wild, and the price was pretty decent, so Tiger ended up grabbing that for me as a birthday gift. So really appreciate those two games from him. That was awesome. He didn't have to do that, but that was pretty cool. And I got to introduce him to Golden Boy, a unique anime from the 80s. If you haven't seen that and you like some funny comedy lewd stuff, find a copy if you can. We got to watch the first two episodes, and yeah, had a little fun. Moving on from that, this is something actually I picked up last year at Midwest Gaming Classic. Well, actually, I was at Midwest Gaming Classic when I ordered it from Japan. This was a Capcom Store exclusive, so it wasn't very easy to get a hold of. They actually sold out pretty quick shortly after they had released it online. And then Fangamer just a couple weeks ago had announced that they were going to release it as well here in the States, which I was super happy because Mega Matt ended up grabbing two of his own. He was a little disappointed he wasn't able to grab it when they released it last year. I kind of remember we were sitting in the hotel room, and I had told him, "Hey, I bought this," and it was bicycle cards, and he's a real big fan of bicycle playing cards. But this is for the Capcom Fighting Collection in honor of that. So it has a lot of really unique art that I haven't seen anywhere else. It features characters from Darkstalkers, Warzard, or Red Earth. The I can't remember the metal robot fighting game, and Street Fighter. So it's a unique thing. I think it's still available on fangamer.com. So if you're into bicycle cards or just want a playing deck with some unique art, definitely consider picking this up. So now I have two, which is great. Do plan on using those. I've opened up the other one. This one I'll get around to opening too, because I really like these and they're great quality. So can't go wrong with that. Next up is Titles Milestones 2. I didn't pick up the first one because there's only like one or two games on that collection I was really interested, even though I'm a sucker for arcade ports. This one, just about all of them were bangers for me. We have the 3-screen version of the arcade port of Darius 2, which I think was also on the Darius collection that I have a PS4. I'd have to go back and look, but this had great stuff like the Gun Frontier, which is a great shoot 'em up, and then the follow up Metal Black. Those are really expensive shmups to get on the arcade. Then you have Kiki Kakai, the prequel to Pocky and Rocky, is on this. And then you have Dino Rex, which is a really crazy, stupid, not a very good game. It's a fighting 101 game where you play as dinosaurs. It's wacky, it's wild, but I love it. So yeah, and especially since we haven't really got a whole lot of collections this generation of stuff. So looking forward to that. And I also believe the Taito Laserdisc collection is coming out soon too. That was announced it was coming to the West. It's available now in Japan. Hoping to get a Western release of that when it comes. There hasn't been a date yet announced for that, but it has stuff like a lot of Saturn FMV games that were ported over to that we never got here in the West. Again, weird stuff that has been years that Japan has had that we're finally getting here in the West. So if you're into arcade ports and compilations, highly recommend the Taito collections. Next up is Limited Run Game. Probably one of my favorite series. I wish Disney would bring this back. Highly unlikely. They keep talking about making a movie, but I haven't seen any of that yet. That is Disney's Gargoyles Remastered. And I meant to pick up the Xbox version, and I'm not sure why I got the PS4 version. Maybe I was thinking at the time of trophies. I don't recall. But looking forward to trying this out with the remade or updated graphics on it. I still do own this on the Sega Genesis, and I've played it time and time again. But yeah, I just love this series to the point where I've even been collecting the NECA toys, and I think I have just about all of them right now. But big fan of Gargoyles, so that was cool. And this game came out in February, and I'm not the biggest fan of this one. That's Persona 3 Reload. I tried playing this on the PSP and the PS2 version FES, and I just couldn't get into it. Spent a couple hours with it. It just wasn't for me. I couldn't get attached to the characters as much as I did for Persona 4 or 5. I just, something about it just didn't click with me. So I never finished the game. I dropped it. I do have it digitally on the Vita, but I figured I might as well get a physical copy of this, give it another go, and see how I like it, because a lot of people were clamoring and saying it was really good. But we'll give it a try. I'll probably start this one after I finish the next day or two the another upcoming game that I'll explain here in a bit. I didn't get a chance to play a whole lot in February because I was busy with one game in particular. This one had been in my Amazon cart for some time. I finally just decided to bite the bullet when I found it at a local GameStop. It was their last copy. This only came out on PS4 and PS5, and I really wanted it on the PS4 because I don't yet have a PS5. And that's Monochrome Mobius, which is part of the Udaware Romono strategy RPG series, which I really enjoy. Played the heck out of that on the PlayStation Vita. This is a retelling of the prequel. I don't know why they keep going back to the beginning of this and not giving us a new entry into the series, even though they kind of wrapped everything up. This has a lot of returning characters that were in those games on the Vita, but rather than it being a strategy RPG, this is more of your standard time or turn-based RPG. But wanted to try it because I'm a big fan of the series. I'd like to see it continue. It's kind of heart-wrenching. A very sad story that quite a few times had my emotions kind of running, because I really did enjoy the characters and the story that was evolved around it. So I hope to check that out. This is the deluxe edition. I think it comes with a digital code for the soundtrack. Yep, and a mini art book. Not physical, but I'll take what I can get since I really want to play that. This one's kind of a surprise. It showed up in my local store. This is another one that we never got here in the West. I don't think we'll ever see it in the West, especially since they redid it, or remade it, I guess, with updated graphics and all that good stuff. This is Like a Dragon or Yakuza 1 and 2 HD edition. This was only released on the PlayStation 3 and the Wii U in Japan, I believe. Again, we didn't get this because we got the Kiwami versions. So it's basically the PlayStation 2 versions, just with higher textures, but kind of the same game. So if you've played the PS2 versions, you're not missing a whole lot. This does not have English in it. It's all completely in Japanese. But I thought it was just an oddity. I have never seen this in the wild. Somebody had apparently come in with all of the imported Like a Dragon games, but I picked this one out since I really didn't. I have the third game that I got some time ago. I believe last month I showed that one off. But it was just an oddity, so I thought I'd pick it up. And this has this massive manual in it that's full color and everything, that kind of explains a bunch of stuff. I just thought it was really cool. So just to go into the Yakuza collection, why not? Thought it was neat. And the one game, of course, sticking with Yakuza, is the game that I had been playing all of February, and I'm still not done yet. I'm on the last chapter. Put 118 hours into this thing so far, which is the longest I've ever put into a Yakuza / Like a Dragon series, which is Infinite Wealth. Really loving it. I mean, obviously, if I was putting that much time into it, I wouldn't have. But yeah, so I'm hoping to get to it because it's, again, there's been a lot of very fond moments going back and revisiting some of the places Kiryu has been throughout the history of the series. And seeing where he's at this point. I do hope we see Kiryu at least one last time after this. The way things are going is not good for him. I'd like to see him get his happy ending and live on a little more than they're hinting at, sadly. So, it's been quite a trip already. I'm pretty much finishing up some loose ends, doing a lot more of the side quests. I did all of his Memories of the Dragon, as they call it. Got to revisit a lot of the old characters from the series. Got to see how they're doing and what's happened in between. A couple of them had disappeared during the length of the series. And at least came back one more time to say goodbye to Kiryu. So, yeah. If you enjoy RPGs and the Yakuza series, always pick this up. I can't say that enough. And that's all I'm going to say because I've gone on tangents before about that. This one, as I said, I don't have a PS5, but I got my second PS5 game, and that is Final Fantasy Rebirth, which is the next one I am absolutely dying to play. Really liked Remake. I'm looking forward to seeing where this one goes. I did not pick up the deluxe edition, simply because the only thing in that pack that I was interested in was the soundtrack, and they're releasing that by itself anyway with more tracks. So I'm hoping to grab that sometime this month, as I think it releases in April, I believe. But yeah, all of my friends are playing this, and it's making me upset to the fact that I can't yet. I also don't want to wait another 6 to 12 months before Sony releases it on Steam, or Square releases it on Steam, I should say. But yeah, I just I so want to play this, and I don't have the system yet, and some sacrifices might have to be made in order to achieve that. But yeah, probably hold off this month a little longer, but that's in my future. Then, of course, I couldn't help myself from picking up at least one more lewd game for the Switch, and that is Pretty Girls Game Collection 3. What one grabbed my attention for this is because it had like a Breakers type game, which I hadn't really, or a Breakout game, which I haven't really seen, and I really enjoy those mindless type games. Of course, you have your generic solitaire type stuff, and it comes with a unique stylus, which all the first two also had as well. But I just thought it was fun to quick pick me up and play with some lewdness to it. So yeah, plus there was a fox girl on the front cover, so me and my foxes. And lastly, this game was on sale. Came up. This originally was again on the PlayStation Vita, and one I don't have yet in my collection. But I figured I might as well pick this up because it was like something stupid, like $14 at Target or something. So I nabbed it. That's Metal Max Xeno Reborn, a RPG with tanks. Looks interesting. Nobody really talks about it too much that I've seen. I think it was unique. I was planning on get it for the Vita. I might still just to have it for the collection. But that port or version of it is getting harder to find as the days go by, as is with most Vita stuff. So I grabbed the PS4 version. Figured why not. Might be something fun to pick up in the lull in between other big releases once I get past some of these other games that I've got already. The never-ending problem of having a backlog. That's what it comes down to. So that's it for February. So yeah, I really got to sit down and get through some of these games on this backlog. It's killing me. Hopefully I'll get Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth finished. Probably won't be tonight, but tomorrow. And I can move on from there. So that's it for now. As always, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.